Welcome back to the Ross Bolen podcast. I am Ross Bolen here with Jared Borislow. J-Bone, I finally did it.
You did what?
I went on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
I am still alive, only I'm very badly burned. I went to Tulum, okay? You know anything about Tulum?
So Tulum is a place I thought was like one of those ancient Mayan temple sites for a long time. And then people started going there more.
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, they have a lot of that in these, like, they have cenotes, which I think that's how it's pronounced, which are like these little, like, cave, waterfall, pond. I don't really know how to describe them because I didn't go. I stuck to the beach, but I had never been either. Didn't know much about Tulum outside of its social media reputation, I would call it. And it was every bit as ridiculous as social media implies. It's like all of the resorts were created specifically with Instagram in mind. Like, it is the ultimate influencer's paradise. And that part of it kind of made me nauseated, to be honest. Like, there was a damn mushroom jungle with all these crazy psychedelic statues and sculptures in the middle of our resort. Like, right after you check in, they walk you through it and they explain it to you. And it's just ridiculous. It's where you can go, like, trip balls and pray to a statue of the god who discovered ayahuasca or whatever. I'm not joking.
They told you that? They
Yes.
said, hey, you can trip balls here?
No, but people do that. Like, it's very, like, the dude that was giving us this tour, I am pretty positive was high on mushrooms at that very moment, like tripping. His pupils were huge. It was like the strong majority of his eyeball. But yeah, so like, it's just a ridiculous mushroom jungle thing. But every 6 feet in this magic forest that's supposed to be all about staying present and finding yourself, there's a different set of decorations that are so obviously Instagrammable, nobody can help themselves. And they're like the proper amount of COVID feet apart and shit so that people could continue to do this during the pandemic. And totally by chance, had no idea this was going to be a thing. On the first day there, millions and millions of butterflies had just hatched. And I have never seen anything like it, Jared. Absolutely fucking insane. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, millions and millions. And I say this only for context. Tens of thousands of them died on the beach.
So I'll be honest, when me and your family decided to get you this honeymoon present of sending millions and millions of butterflies to beautifully rain down upon your honeymoon, we didn't expect that many of them to die, but we hope you enjoyed the show regardless.
Bro, it was ridiculous. So like they're checking us in and they're like, it was a very thoughtful gesture by you and my parents. Thank you. At the expense of all the other guests and perhaps even the resort, because you could tell they were concerned. When they're checking us in, they're like, listen, the larva, and this is in like broken English too, so you're like, wait, what? They're like, the larva just hatched and the flies are everywhere. That's like what the guy said. And I was like, I don't know, looks kind of beautiful, right? Like, I just like, but it went from the most beautiful thing I've ever seen to a total nightmare in like an hour.
That sounds exactly like birth, right?
Yeah, like it was so overstimulating and frankly concerning. Like, I thought a swarm of them might descend upon me and there'd be nothing left but a pile of bones when they were finished. That's how many of them there were. Like too many, dude. Like, you'd close your eyes on the beach and just relax and like the sound of the ocean is washing over you, and then open your eyes and just be like, Jesus fucking Christ, because they're everywhere.
Is it like an Alfred Hitchcock, the bird situation?
Absolutely. It was like the birds, but with butterflies. And frankly, I find birds in mass numbers to be a little bit less scary for some reason.
That's weird.
I don't know, man, because it was just like, I've been to a butterfly museum. We have a great one at the Museum of Natural Science in Houston. Love that museum. One of my favorite places in the world. Been there probably 50 times, a lot of it over the course of my childhood.
Isn't that where Larry Hoover, they got Kanye and...
Same district. It's literally around the corner from where Jay Prince met with Kanye at the chapel and forced him to do a concert with Drake in the name of Larry Hoover. But yeah, so I've been to the Butterfly Museum. I've seen a lot of butterflies, all right? I've been in a place that was literally made to house a shit ton of butterflies that people would pay to enter and go, oh my God, that's a lot of butterflies. This was way, way, way more butterflies. And frankly, it was too many. It was too many. It wasn't even cute. It was like, all right, that's fucking enough. And thankfully, day 2, there was like half as many because they're migrating away and then also dying in mass on the beach, which is not the most romantic thing. Like, you're taking a walk with your wife on your honeymoon, and you're just trampling on the corpses of thousands and thousands of
It's
butterflies.
like the beaches of Normandy, but for butterflies.
Dude, we were. That's exactly what it was like. They're like washing in with the tide and shit. It was fucked up, dude. So that part of it was a little disturbing. We didn't really know what to make of it. We're like, oh, look, it's beautiful. It's nature. And that's Tulum's thing, right? They want you to feel the nature. And they really laid that part on thick during the welcoming because there was a disgusting, disturbing amount of seaweed. But first, let me talk about some positives. The food. The food was the best thing about Tulum. It might be the best I've ever eaten on vacation ever in terms of deliciousness. I've definitely gained more weight on vacation before, but in terms of quality of food and the meal, oh my God. And this is the off season there, man. So it was like we didn't need reservations anywhere. Like it was.
Is it the off season because of the butterflies?
I think it was the off season for a number of reasons that one of which I'll get to now. Like food amazing. We had every meal that we had was incredible. We ate probably 15 pounds of guacamole over the course of the shouts to Micah over the course of the trip. But
Did you eat on the resort premises or did you go around Tulum?
both. Did a little bit of both. The first night we did room service because we were beat from travel. The second night we did room service because it was raining. And then, or maybe that was the third night that we did room service. I don't know. But the other nights we went to different restaurants, one of which was like, in terms of experience, was one of the coolest places I've ever been. I can't remember the name of it to give it shouts, unfortunately, but it was like it was in the trees. You descend up into the trees of the jungle, and then there's all these, like, if you've ever been on a catamaran, how there's that netting you can stand on over the water or whatever, and it's like you're just hovering over the water. There was a ton of that netting up in the trees, so you could just go be walking over the jungle or whatever. It was cool as shit. I'll tweet out the name or something, or do an Instagram post at some point. Food amazing. Beach was solid. Shit ton of seaweed, though, if we're being real. Like, I grew up going to Galveston, so that shit doesn't really faze me, but it was prevalent. It wasn't Galveston levels most of the time, but it was at some points.
Well, I would think you would like that because in high school they used to call you seaweed because you had such crap weed, right?
God damn it, Jared. I do not have crap weed. But it was a lot of seaweed, and yeah, I know. I mean, for too much for most people to venture into the water. Again, I'm not most people. I live for the ocean. I love the ocean. I'm one with the ocean. That's why I hate Cabo. You can't swim in the damn ocean. What the fuck are you doing? You have a neighborhood pool, fam. Why go to Mexico? I don't get it. I don't get that. I don't
It's for
get
people
Cabo.
who don't like the water, I guess. Like they like the beach.
But don't want to go in it.
Yeah.
People don't even really kick it on the beach in Cabo, though. They just stay in
Really?
the resort pools and shit.
Oh, no, never been.
I don't know. If I'm going to the beach, I want to be able to swim in the water. That's all I'm saying. Worst part of the vacation was having a semi-forced 15-minute conversation with a resort waiter about gun control over breakfast. He asked where I was from. I told him Texas. He replied, Second Amendment, eh? I'm not at breakfast, on vacation in Mexico. Not something I could or would make up.
What reaction did he want from you and what one did he expect from you?
I think he expected the Texan response, right? This guy,
Yeah, I love that shit.
This guy's very familiar with Texans working at a resort in Mexico. And that's not what he got. And I think that's what he wanted. What I gave him is what he wanted, was what he was hoping for, I think, which is like a thoughtful conversation with an educated, caring individual. But he was definitely taken aback when my answer wasn't what he expected, and we kind of like went, it was ridiculous. So, and speaking of macabre, the resort gift shop had a crystal butt plug, dildo, and clit stimulator just casually sitting on a shelf amongst the expected knickknacks and swimsuits and clothing.
Is this an adults-only resort?
Definitely not.
Really? You saw kids there?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Well, maybe they were crystal because it makes it harder for the kids to know what they are.
Now, that being said, I think if you took your kids here kind of unbeknownst to the situation, the mushroom forest, the dildo gift shop, you would be like, what the hell? What the fuck is this? It was a little, it should be an adult resort, but it's definitely not. There were children there. I'd give Tulum a 7.5 out of 10. All right, I'm docking major points for the seaweed and service, which
And butterflies?
wasn't timely. The butterflies were a cool part of the trip and a very memorable part now, but it was a little fucking distracting in the moment. But the vacation as a whole, I would give a 12 out of 10. Could not have been better. I was in fucking heaven. The dogs, however, were not in heaven while I was on vacation.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Bruce and Bella and Harvey and Penny, my 4 dogs. Remember, I have 4 dogs and a toddler now.
That's a lot.
All right, I married a single mom. I'm a stepdad. Just trying to make sure we're all on the same page here. 2 of the 4 dogs did not do well with the new dog sitter. Jared, I'll let you guess which 2 didn't do well.
I'm gonna guess Bruce and Bella.
Yeah, Bruce and Bella haven't been away from me that long in years, many years, and for obvious reasons with what went down in 2019, they have some abandonment issues. I mean, shit, they had abandonment issues just because they're Aussies, long before anything like went down in 2019. But those issues were exacerbated, I would say, and they shit and pissed all over the house, all over the dog sitter. They do what's called protest pees, protest poops. And it's when they're angry that I've left them. They don't really need to go even. She'll just like be like, fuck you, and like piss a little bit on the ground.
I mean, I've never seen your dogs have an accident, minus Penny, who pooped in the studio during that one episode.
That was fun.
Caught on air.
Yeah.
But Bruce and Bella are incredibly house trained.
Yeah, they are, until we're at home and I leave them. And then they do this protest pooping and peeing. And since this was the longest I'd left them, they wreaked havoc on the house. The first morning I was in Mexico with my wife, we got a series of texts from the dog sitter like, and I'm not, this is a quote, "This is a nightmare. I'm not sure I can do this until Wednesday. They peed in my eyes." Not the last part. I added the eye peeing, but
I was like,
no, but the rest of it, she was like freaking out.
wait,
dude.
you say she said it was
She
a
said,
nightmare.
"This is a nightmare."
Is she a professional dog sitter?
Professional dog sitter.
Okay. That's...
So she, I mean, I know, but here's the thing. Like, I know how crazy it is. I deal with all 4 of these dogs every day. It is chaos. And if you let them get, out of control, whew, you're dealing with a lot. So I get it. I'm throwing her an extra Benjamin for making it through and keeping all 4 of them alive. That's all I needed. Although it was stressful to wake up to those text messages, I'll be frank. By the way.
Yeah, wait, what?
She didn't. I don't think she knew the context of the trip, like in terms of it being our honeymoon and whatnot.
I didn't even. That's like a part of it I didn't even think about. Like, that's kind of rude. Like, how about this? How about you?
I don't know, dude. If I was house sitting for somebody and first of all, it wasn't like the first morning she woke up to all this. Like Bella peed in the bed while she was asleep, so I think she woke her up at like 5 a.m. and then she like went downstairs and there was probably poop and pee all over the place, and I'm assuming she freaked out. So I kind of get it. It's like,
okay.
I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. Also, she might listen to the show. I don't know. By the way, when I'm on vacation, it's really weird, and I wonder if anybody else has this phenomenon. When I see a bird or a turtle or a fish, every animal I encounter makes me miss my dogs. Like, reminds me of my dogs. I don't know why. I mean, dogs too, obviously, if I see another dog. But like the same amount as if I saw a bird or a turtle or anything else when I'm on vacation. It's fucking weird.
How about a butterfly?
Maybe I'm just St. Francis. The butterflies, even a little bit, when there was less of them on like day 3, because they were all dead on the beach. You're the dog. Get your dog merch on bolenmedia.com/shop. Today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Spring has sprung, Jared. We're into summer. You got to keep your downstairs mix-up clean. Manscaped, the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming, have the best tools for cleaning aisle 5 in your pants. Time to clear out your winter bush and join the other 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com. You'll get 20% off plus free shipping when you use the code RBP at checkout to support our show. Manscaped has the full package you need to keep everything looking the way you want it to look and that your partner wants it to look for the sexual purposes that you have going in your life.
You didn't need to explain it that much.
The Performance Package 4.0 is the only tool you need to keep your boys looking and smelling fresh like tulips, which will please your partner. To start off, go to Manscaped, get the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, get the most precise shave on your hedges. It's waterproof as well. No need to worry about watering your grass with this tool, equipped with an LED light, so you know it'll be a major asset to the new shower routine. Clean your holes and smell the summer air with the Weed Whacker. I use this thing on my nose. I'd never had a nose trimmer or an ear trimmer before. The Weed Whacker's fucking awesome.
I just used it yesterday.
It's phenomenal. After clearing your nose, make sure to get rid of that foul ball smell that you have, Jared, with the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver. The Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. The Crop Reviver is spray-on toner for your balls. You keep your boys from sticking to your leg and leave them smelling like fresh flowers. Finish off your grooming routine with the Plow 2.0, the perfect razor for the finest shave on your face, because if you're using the Lawnmower 4.0 on your balls and your face, you are doing it wrong. Separate tools for those two regions of your body. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RBP at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping when you use the code RBP at manscaped.com to let them know we sent you and support the show. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life with Manscaped.
You know, ever since I got the Plow 2.0 from Manscaped, they call me Mr. Plow, and I actually have a theme song, and it goes, Mr. Plow, that's my name. That name again is Mr. Plow.
I find that song to be vaguely familiar.
Well, yeah, I stole it.
Can I say the airport still sucks? This is the first time I've flown since, like, I don't know, at least 2019.
Hold on, let me check and see if the airport is a sponsor of the pod. No, we're good.
No, we're good. It still sucks in there, man. The Austin airport, I don't really like hate or anything, especially as early as our flight out was. The Austin airport's pretty small. It's manageable. It's not too bad. But it's just all airports. Like, I think that they suck if you're an empath or something. I don't know if maybe you have this issue, Jared. When I go in there, it's like too much chaotic energy. And I feel all that shit. All these people panicking, trying to make it to their flight on time, rushing through security or freaking out because they've got, crack cocaine in their bag and it's about to be searched or whatever. I basically have to shut down my body and move through the entire process of check-in and security and boarding in some sort of hazy dream state to maintain my sanity because all the humans are giving off panic and chaotic energy and fucking with my chi, dog.
I like going to the airport, as we talked about, because airport poops are goated. I go through security, go right to the bathroom, and just take a dump. And I don't care. Like I said, I'll be as loud as I want because all these people around me are literally flying around the fucking globe and I'll never see them again.
I don't think I worried about this before COVID, but it's like, it's more a thing now for me. I've mentioned I'm a home-based guy. I like to use my restroom at home as often as possible when it comes to number 2, all right? When I'm doing a poop, I like to be in my spot. But the airport bathroom now, which I obviously had to use, it's just travel to another country. And also the hotel restrooms, I would say I'll apply those. The resort bathrooms, they had public resort bathrooms that I used a couple times. I'm more concerned with like the other humans that have sat there just before me now. Because of like what may be lingering. I don't know. You just wipe the seat?
No, so when you wipe this, here's the thing. I am not, the only time I will use those fucking stupid tissue paper toilet.
They don't even have those most places anymore.
The airports always do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would know. Seasoned airport pooper here. The only time I ever use those is if I walk into the stall and it is just covered in piss. And I'm like, okay, even if I wipe this down, I can't get it out of my head.
You don't just go to another stall or wait?
No, I will always go to another stall first. But if they're all like that or they're all occupied, I'll use the tissue paper thing. What I do, and this is key, and anybody who has a big, fat, voluptuous, juicy ass knows this.
Dump truck.
You need to not just wipe down the top, you need to take the toilet paper and wipe under. I've talked about this on the show before.
Right.
Wipe under
the
seat because the pee drips down off the seat and then hangs down there like a pee stalactite.
So after you do that, do you go wash your hands before you come back and use the restroom? It just feels like you've accomplished even more germ gathering by wiping underneath the seat and it's all over your fingers and shit.
No, I
don't know.
I have a big. What do you think? I use a single ply toilet paper to do that?
You know,
I have a wad.
You did to exit the restroom. You did have to wear masks in Mexico still in the airport. It was weird. So in the American airport, you don't. And then you get to Mexico, and you do. So you had to take a mask with you anyway for the Mexican airport. Also, speaking of juicy dump truck asses, saw quite a few BBLs in Mexico, Brazilian butt lifts. Look, I just want to state that similarly to with titties, like if you're a connoisseur of these things, such as I, you know straight away when you're looking at a butt that has been manipulated by science versus a natural butt. And there were some BBLs on this beach, man, that were just like a lot of thongs, by the way. Plethora of thong bathing suits, which was relatively surprising. Highest percentage of any resort I've ever been to. At all ages, too, man. Really? 45 down to 18. Dead ass serious. Pun intended.
I don't know if I've ever seen a BBL. I didn't know that was a thing until you just said
They're super popular. Super popular.
Is it a surgical procedure?
They suck fat out of your tummy. And they blow it into your ass, and they shape it so that you look like Kim Kardashian. That's what a BBL is.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the premier BBL surgeons in the country in the city of Austin, in fact.
What's his name?
Dr. Franco. Yeah.
Do you
I know this
him?
because my wife works in the industry in some fashion. But yeah, so I had to wear masks, lots of BBLs. Speaking of airports, Jared, you'll love this.
Okay.
I found Guy Fieri's Flavor Town in Cancun, in the Cancun airport, which is the one you use when you fly into, what is it, the Yucatan Peninsula?
Yes, Yucatan.
Where they have, Cozumel, Playa del Carmen,
Riviera Maya.
Tulum, they're all up and down that motherfucker. So yeah, the Guy Fieri Flavor Town restaurant is in the Cancun airport, and I ate the chicken fingers and fries from it. I'm actually not sure if my food came from there, but I did order there. It was a really weird situation. I ordered from Guy Fieri's Flavor Town, but she was like, yeah, it'll come out over there, and pointed to like the next booth, and I was like, wait, what? And like walked over there and got my food 20 minutes later. It's fucking weird.
Did you have donkey sauce?
Maybe, unbeknownst to me, but it's Guy Fieri,
Piece of shit.
and Wolfgang Puck. Wolfgang Puck and Guy Fieri. Those are the two people that have restaurants in the Cancun airport. So that's the level Guy Fieri has ascended to. Wolfgang Puck. Levels of cooking fame. Amazing.
Or selling out. I don't know. You can take whichever
maybe,
one you
maybe
want.
a little bit of column A. Little column A, little column B. Also, I'm not a big fan of flying, frankly. I think I'm ready to admit that now. And it's not so much that I'm scared of crashing. It's that I don't trust, like, naturally crashing. You know what I mean? Like from a lightning bolt or like pilot failure. It's that I don't, well, maybe pilot failure, because I don't trust the other humans.
You trust the pilots?
I don't trust a large enough percentage of the other humans. So if you stick 200 of us on an airplane, I'm uncomfortable with at least like half those folks. I got sat on the front row of the plane. Praise be to God, on the way home. It was fucking awesome. You got all that leg room up there, man.
A lot of people don't like it because you got to put your bag up above.
Don't give a shit. Take my bag. Take it all. Just put me up there where I can put my legs out. I'm a gangly son of a bitch, and I need room. It's Chicken Leg Pride Month. I want these things out. And I sat there and watched every other single person board the plane and was just like, fuck. Well, first of all, the last person to board the plane was a drunk as fuck guy who showed up like 20 minutes after everyone else had boarded. Like while they're doing like the check and shit, he was like, sup? He's in his 40s, 50s maybe. And the flight attendant that had to help him board was like making jokes on the intercom. Like this gentleman was finishing his tequila in the lobby and I can smell it on him. And it was like half jokes, half reality because he was like clearly shithoused. And then they had to worry about him the rest of the flight. The stewardess is like, God damn it. Flight attendants kept checking with each other. What's going on with the guy in the back? We're forcing him to drink seltzer water and telling him it's vodka. Like shit like that. Like they were clearly dealing with this guy. So the whole flight, I'm like, well, this dude's going to freak out any moment, probably rush the cockpit. I'm going to have to tackle him, put my elbow through his fat face.
You really went through the scenario in your head.
That's what happens with me on the airplane, man. I'm way too much of an anxious and observational person, and I don't trust the other humans, and there's too many of them on there, and I know one of them is bound to have a fucking freak out at any moment. Maybe it's me.
Sounds like it was.
In some ways it was, Jared. But I'm able to keep it inside. That's the difference.
I will say I flew a ton in college. I mean, every time I went to and from college, I had to take 2 flights. I'm not like, one of those consultants after college who flies twice a week.
What's that flight, by the way, from Wisconsin to Florida?
A lot of times I could get a direct flight from Tampa to Milwaukee and then take a bus to Madison.
This was direct, by the way, and you gotta love it. It's the best.
Otherwise,
connecting shouldn't even exist. It's 2022.
It sucks. I fly tomorrow. Speaking of flights, I fly tomorrow to, as Charles Barkley would say, LaVille. Remember that commercial with him and Spike Lee and Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah. LaVille. I'm going to Louisville tomorrow. Louisville for a wedding.
Throw up the L.
I'm not going to do that. Is that Jack Harlow thing?
Sex in the AM. No? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be banging that album.
Trying to show Jack some love, Jared. I've got his fans upset with me.
And I am flying, speaking of airports and airliners, I'm flying Allegiant.
Is that shit? I don't know much. I know Spirit's one that gets made fun of a lot.
The 3 worst airlines to fly in America, and if you debate this, you're stupid. It's Allegiant, Spirit, and Frontier.
Ooh, Frontier I've been on. That's rough.
Because they're the cheapest.
When I went to Alaska. I'm just kidding.
I got one, because in order to save money, didn't pick our seats.
Like that's an option. They're like, you can pay $20 less to not know where you're going to sit.
Yeah, you don't pick your seat.
That's what I love about Southwest. It's just everybody for themselves.
What you pay for when you like the price they give you and quote you is your seat. If you want to have a carry-on bag, extra. A checked bag, extra. You want to get a drink, including water, on the plane.
See,
extra.
But this is one of the things I hate about our society, capitalism. Because, yes, in some airlines, they choose to have that stuff itemized so that you're picking it. Other airlines, they have that shit built in. And then those other airlines that have it built in, they do their advertising to make it like the guys who are itemizing it are fucking you. All these extra hidden fees. It's like, you're the one with the hidden fees, dickbag. You've put those in already so that nobody has to make... Anyway, it just like... they all suck, is my point.
The best one is that with Allegiant, if you show up to the airport without a boarding pass, in order to print off a boarding pass, it's like $10.
They charge you for the boarding pass? Okay, that's next level.
Yes. And the reason they do it, and I found this out, is because they want to make you download their app so they have more app downloads.
I got another thing about Tulum to tell you. So when you show up to the hotel, to the resort, this was a Papaya Playa project that I stayed at. PPP, as it's known.
I got one of those loans.
Amongst the Telemese. I don't know if that's what they're called. And they don't give you a room card, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what they give you?
A coconut.
A fucking wristband like you're at ACL Fest 2022.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's a wristband, and it's like it's got some hang down to it, so it's not, you can't really like hide it. It's got some serious hang down, 2 little bobs, little balls on the bobs, and then it's like it says Papaya Playa Project, but it's also the thing you press up to your door as it opens your door for you to get you into your room. Yeah, wow, but also like it's just
that's annoying. They turned you into the key.
Yeah, exactly, and you can't lose it, and I did lose one, and they were like, "There's going to be an extra charge," and I was like, "Of fucking course there is." Because y'all don't have 1,000 of those, and you can't just program another one to my goddamn door. You got to charge me $30 fucking to replace that stupid goddamn wristband because you had to be just a little bit different and make everybody wear these instead of giving us room keys like a normal place. So
sad.
That was fun. But yeah, I fucking hate the airport. It's just gross, man. There's too many smelly people. Not enough of us, especially after the pandemic, are good with hygiene anymore. Our hygiene fell to the wayside. That's why our sponsors like Manscaped are so important to help you pull your shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just stinky.
You need to tone your balls.
And I'm not judging, man. I get it. Life has been hard. And your balls need toning. But I'm just saying there was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot to the nostrils. An assault on my senses. And that's what the airport is.
Sounds awful.
Don't love it. But the vacation was phenomenal, 12 out of 10. Today's episode is also brought to you by Talkspace. There's something rejuvenating about getting down to what's essential and starting fresh. Same goes with your mind. Over the years, thoughts and emotions can build up. That's why it's important to talk to someone who's trained to help you declutter your mental space. Talkspace therapists are available to message anytime you need because you shouldn't have to watch your thoughts pile up until your next appointment rolls around. I've been in therapy for over a decade. Can't more highly recommend it, but I understand it can be daunting. Getting started is way less daunting with Talkspace. They make connecting with a licensed therapist easy so you can stop setting aside your own mental well-being. Talkspace takes some of the pressure off that first step. It's a more flexible and convenient way to get high-quality care. Plus, there are several payment options to choose from. Once you match with one of their licensed therapists, you can message them anytime through the app or schedule a live session if you need to talk something through. Your mental health is too important to rely upon Google, Dr. Google. With 24/7 text, audio, and video messaging, Talkspace lets you talk to a licensed therapist without needing an appointment. They have thousands of therapists across dozens of specialties. Once you match with your therapist, you can message with them anytime, anywhere. It's private, secure, and most importantly, accessible. It's everything you love about therapy without the stuff that gets in the way. If thoughts and emotions are piling up, a fresh perspective can help you feel better. Match with your dedicated therapist today at Talkspace.com. Use promo code RBP during sign-up to get $100 off your first month. That's $100 off at Talkspace.com, promo code RBP. Jared, I turned 35 years old on Tuesday while I was on vacation. Day before Kanye turned 45. Not trying to draw comparisons or say I'm this generation's Kanye of podcasting. And I got to tell you, doing your birthday on the beach is definitely the way. I am not a huge birthday guy. Birthdays tend to bring a lot of questions and reflecting, thinking back on the past year and how it went. And it's just been a while since I had a year that wasn't tumultuous as hell. This past year, obviously being no different, with me weaning off antidepressants for 9 months of it and not even knowing if I'd make it to 35 for much of it. So I expected this to be a rough birthday. But it wasn't, man. The beach and great news got me through, and it was the most relaxing birthday I think I have ever had. But in terms of being 35, when I was a kid, like even in high school, you know, not like 10 years old, I'm talking like 15, 16, 35 years old was straight up old. Like 25 was a crazy age to me. Like past college aged was an old person. But 35 is like definitively like nobody in my eyes that was 35 years old when I was a kid was young anymore. And I got to say, I don't really feel 35, and I think that's probably a good thing. Like I always joke that I became an adult at 30, even though that's only partially a joke. But even at 35, I just don't feel like I thought I would feel at 35 years old. Like I imagined I would have to be a lot more serious all the time than I actually do.
It's kind of weird to think about how right now, in terms of age, you are 6 years older than me.
How old are you?
29.
29. I thought you were still 28. I hadn't updated it in my brain. Doing it now. 29.
I'm pretty sure I'm 29. I was born in 1993, so yeah.
I will say, though, I've definitely noticed the effects of aging, like in some ways. I mean, you're at 29, you've felt a couple of them. You've had a few of those days where you wake up and like something hurts and
Ross,
you're just like, okay.
I went to physical therapy at 28 for my
That's
shoulder
right.
because I have a disc golf injury.
You also wore the Mueller on your knee.
I've been more sick than you.
Yeah. So you've definitely experienced some of it, but it gets worse. I'll just... I mean, everybody knows this. We all know it's going to happen. It's just like I've started to feel some of the actual... like the stuff that happens when you get older. Like I get tired more easily. Like I used to hate, when I was a kid and I would see one of these grown-ups, 35-year-old grown-ups with kids, and they're always exhausted, always look like they're probably on the verge of needing a nap, right? Or miserable. Now I get it. Now I know. I used to judge those people. I used to judge them harshly. Like, what's with all these fucking adults? I'm never going to be like that. Oh my God. Yeah, you are. You just have to have a full-time job that's extremely demanding and get 4 dogs and have a toddler. Like, it's not that hard. You suddenly have no energy. Suddenly you're going to bed at 9 o'clock. I used to be a fucking night owl. I didn't make it past 11 p.m. a single night of this vacation.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I went to bed before 11 p.m.
There was a probably 15-year stretch of my life where a lot of the nights I went to bed past 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Like between 1 and 2
I'm
was
there
my
right now.
go-to. I mean, no, I get it. I get it's well, you know, it depends on what your circumstances are, whether or not you can live that way. And I just can't fucking do it anymore. And that's the reason a lot of adults don't, because they can't. And I used to hate on that, and now I'm more sympathetic to the adult game. I also just don't move as well, like playing basketball. I'll notice, like I'm a step slower.
Yeah, you got like the mafia feet, just like cement shoes,
cement boots.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know how when you're watching the NFL or like MLB or whatever, and they'll be like, Johnson's getting up in age. He's at 32 now and definitely lost a step. Like, I've lost a step. And I'm willing to admit that.
Luckily, I was in such bad... Well, no, I shouldn't say was. Luckily, I am in such bad shape that all I need to do is start exercising for a month, and I will be in better shape than I have been in the last 4 years. So
I played this game.
I can reverse.
It's a good one. Jared, I'm technically in the best shape of my life. And if you just live like shit for long enough, you can say that and people believe you. Nobody doesn't believe me when I say that. And it also might be true. I don't know.
Wait, I just realized, how long have you had your entire Hawaiian shirt unbuttoned?
I've been slowly undoing it over the course of the episode. No, it's been this way the whole time. Hey, look, man, I haven't been tan since 2017. This is a big deal to me.
What happened back then?
It's mostly burning.
Went to the Masters.
I went to the Masters. And I got a golf tan. But, yeah. Also, the older you get, the more your perspective shifts as a result of just the comings and goings of the world and of your life. And it's wild to have been through multiple phases of life at this point. Like I've been through childhood, I've been through young adulthood, I've been through some trauma, I've been through some fucking chaos, a divorce, and where I'm at now, frankly, it feels like I've lived a couple few lives already, which is just kind of like there are versions of me that are dead and gone. That's how long I've been.
Chungus.
That's how long I've been walking around. There are versions of me that do not exist like almost in any fashion or form, which is crazy.
But we'll always have the photos.
We'll always have the photos. Do you believe in reincarnation?
No.
Okay, well, if you had to, what do you think you'd come back as?
Does it have to be I don't think carbon-based life form?
There are people who believe reincarnation in that we have multiple lives, like that our souls are reborn in another body and they go forth not knowing they've already been here. And there are people that believe you become like a tree or a crab.
Here's mine. I don't believe this, but I wish it was true because it'd be sick. Okay, here's what it is. When you die, you the second that you die,
you're making another religion here, huh?
Well, maybe yeah.
Okay.
The second that you die,
why not have two?
I think it would be sick if you became your soul got put into the soul of whatever baby was born closest to after you died, right? Because then when there's like a celebrity baby being born, I'm like getting ready. I'm like, okay. And I'm like trying to time it so that I'm the celebrity's baby.
What was the Black Panther activist who was murdered and a movie came out about him like 2 years ago? I'm sorry to put you on the spot. It doesn't make you racist for not knowing.
I don't watch movies. I prefer a nice documentary.
Black Panther movie. Oh, it's going to bring me to the Marvel thing.
Yeah, it's going to. Definitely is.
Black Panther.
When you Google Black Panther movie, generally you're going to get the movie.
Fred Hampton. Jay-Z has a line where he says, "I was born on the day that Fred Hampton died." Real word I can't say. Don't die, we multiply, or something like that. And that's that kind of that concept, right? Like he was almost like half claiming like this man, I carry part of him or whatever.
My friend Randy Trimbacki was born on the exact same day that Kurt Cobain died.
Maybe he's got the soul of, that's not one you probably want to wrestle with.
He's pretty troubled.
Yeah, he had some slight issues.
He got cucked by Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, man, tough looks.
The world is a vampire.
We did that song recently.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I want to come back as a bird so I can fly far, far away.
Okay, fucking Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, are you serious?
What?
The Notebook.
Does he say that in The Notebook?
I thought you were quoting The Notebook.
No, I'm quoting Forrest Gump when Jenny says, "God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far away." I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Wait, hold on.
You haven't watched The Notebook.
Oh, The Notebook is if you're a bird, I'm a bird.
That's if you're a bird, I'm a bird.
Okay. Well,
but also fair. I'll still count your reference.
Thank you.
I'll still count it.
You know, I prefer nice documentaries.
Count that. Put it on the scoreboard. Thank you. Anyway, thank you to everybody for the birthday wishes. They meant a lot. I appreciate it greatly. Couldn't even have gone on vacation if it wasn't for you good people supporting our sponsors and listening and hopping on Patreon. So thank you. Speaking of which, today's episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. Jared and I love Liquid IV. We talk about them constantly. I usually have one before we podcast so that I'm hydrated during the course of the show, where I talk a lot and don't have a ton of time to be drinking water during the hour. Also, before workouts, it's hot as shit in Austin.
Ross,
we're sweating our balls off out here.
Let me read you the high for the next 10 days. Ready? 98, 102, 105, 105, 102, 100, 99, 102, 102.
Yeah, it's officially Liquid IV season in Austin, Texas. And for those of you who live in places where it gets as hot as it does here or anywhere near, you got to stay hydrated. And when you push your body hard, you feel run down. It's extremely important that you drink enough water, and making hydration a priority helps us feel better on a day-to-day basis. One stick of Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier in 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. Liquid IV Hydration comes in refreshing flavors like watermelon, lemon lime, strawberry, pina colada, and more. It contains 5 essential vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C, with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. Those are trash. Throw those out. Get yourself some Liquid IV made with premium ingredients, non-GMO, and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. It uses cellular transport technology, otherwise known as CTT, designed to enhance rapid absorption of water and other key ingredients into the bloodstream. Also, Liquid IV is a great company. They're on a mission to change the world. They've donated over 20 million servings of Liquid IV globally to help keep the world hydrated. Grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code ROSS at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use promo code ROSS Ross at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today at liquidiv.com, promo code Ross. All right, for the unaware, a Saudi Arabian money-backed golf league called LIV or LIV has been poaching players, I guess is the way to put it, from the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour being the governing body of golf that everyone is aware of, that is run out of the United States here. I'd say it's the fourth biggest and most prevalent sport in the U.S. in terms of leagues. Like, it's the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, and probably golf after that. Maybe hockey.
I would put hockey.
Maybe hockey after that, then golf.
Yeah, I'd say PJs after that.
The only reason I'd say golf for me pops up in front of hockey is because hockey does tend to be more regional, whereas I feel like golf has kind of grown to be everywhere. But you're probably right, because I end up watching more hockey annually than I do golf because of the NHL playoffs, usually.
Because the Lightning are so good, and that's my team, and they play tonight.
I love the Ning. Where are we at now?
Tied 2-2.
Semi-final?
Eastern Conference Finals.
Eastern Conference Final.
Tied
All right,
2-2.
fuck yeah.
Trying
to get back to a third Stanley Cup.
In a row. The Avalanche already made it to the Stanley Cups. They're going to be resting like 2 weeks, which is good for the Lightning if they can make it. You don't want to be resting during the playoffs.
So PGA Tour is huge, is the point. And it is, there's never been a competitor. Here's the thing. Golf is probably the only league out of the major ones in the United States that was susceptible to something like this. There is no sports league that can challenge the NBA in basketball. There is no sports league that can challenge the NFL in football. There is no sports league that can challenge Major League Baseball in baseball. It will never, ever, and I mean this, ever, the world will cease to exist before any of those three leagues are replaced at the top of the pyramid for their prospective sports. Golf was always the one where it was like, I don't know. Like, you could say maybe, I could see baseball. They do a terrible job with their player promotion. Like, fuck that. Do you have any idea how much money those guys are making? Have you looked at the baseball contracts, what these dudes pull? Golf is the one. Tiger Woods has $125 million in career earnings on the PGA Tour. That's it. You know how much the LIV Golf League offered him to come play?
How much?
Allegedly $1 billion plus. $1 and he turned it down. But the point is, golf is susceptible for a number of reasons. It is not a players' league. Like the NBA is a players' league. The players really have power when it comes down to it. Golf is not a players' league. The players do not have any say. They do not have any power. The PGA kind of keeps them under their thumb. It's a really weird situation. And as such, this Saudi Arabian-backed league that's like chaired by Greg Norman, I don't know what the fuck that came from. Greg the Shark Norman, just up there chairing a Saudi Arabian golf league. God knows they paid his ass. But they've been throwing bags of money at players. And we're not talking just any players. We're talking like Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, big-name guys that were on the PGA. And by paying them tens of millions and in some cases hundreds of millions of dollars to like switch teams, essentially, they're getting them away from the PGA Tour. And in response, the PGA Tour today suspended all players participating in the LIV Golf Tournament, which is starting today, I believe, and it's the first of its kind. They suspended 17 members who are competing in the inaugural LIV Golf Tournament International Series event, and it announced this discipline, the PGA did, less than 30 minutes after these 17 members or former members of the PGA who resigned, a lot of them resigned in the past week or so. They were hitting their opening tee shots in the inaugural LIV Golf Tournament when the PGA announced it. Like right after they hit their opening tee shots, they put this press release out. Obviously, partially in a move to distract from the tournament. Yeah. Now people are talking about this instead of that.
I should note that I think a big reason, like you pointed out, like nobody can take down the NFL, MLB, or NBA. The big reason why golf is susceptible is because it's not a team sport, right?
Individual.
Like even motorsports are team sports.
No,
There's
you're
teams
very
who
correct.
employ the drivers. This is completely individual. Like, for example, you pay your way, you pay an entry fee and play in a tournament. If you don't make the cut, I think you lost money. Unless you have sponsors.
It depends. A lot of the guys have invites to the tournament, so they're not paying to play. But some of them, there is some type of entry fee or whatever. And it just depends. Like, so the way the LIV Golf thing is set up, even the last place person makes a considerable amount of money.
The last place at the end of the season, yeah.
It's like $125,000 or something. I'm talking about last place for the when it all is said and
It's
done or
six
whatever.
figs, yeah. Even if you show up and shoot 85 the entire year, you'd still get
Whereas
six figs.
last place in a lot of PGA events, you're talking about $10,000, $15,000, shit like that.
I don't think you get anything.
Well, I don't know.
If you don't make the cut.
Maybe in some of them. Maybe you might be correct. You have to make the amount
weekend,
of players
yeah.
that have qualified for the purse, which is obviously people who are playing on the weekend. But yeah, so the PGA put out this press release, says one of the parts of it is these players have made their choice for their own financial-based reasons. PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan wrote in a memo to the Tour's membership, but they can't demand the same PGA Tour membership benefits, considerations, opportunities, and platform as you. That expectation disrespects you, our fans, and our partners. You have made a different choice, which is to abide by the tournament regulations you agreed to when you accomplished the dream of earning a PGA Tour card, and more importantly, to compete as part of the preeminent organization in the world of professional golf. Specifically, the memo singled out Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, Kevin Na, Lee Westwood, Sergio Garcia, Taylor Gooch, Brandon Grace, Matt Jones, Martin Kamer, Graham McDowell, Andy Ogletree, Louis Oosthuizen, Turk Petiti and Poulter, Charles Schwartzel, Hudson Swafford, and Peter Uihlein, among others. It's like, I mean, those are all recognizable golf names to me, who is a very admitted casual fan. I am a casual, without a doubt. When it comes to the PGA, I love the majors. I watch the majors. Some of these guys will apparently still be able to participate in some of the majors, which is confusing. Like the PGA hasn't completely laid down here. It's
No,
weird.
they have. So all PGA Tour events, they are completely banned from. The majors are not. So the PGA Championship is, I believe.
Okay.
But the U.S. Open is not put on by PGA Tour. The Open Championship in Britain, not. The Masters, not. From what I understand.
It says players who resigned their membership before starting the LIV Golf event being held outside London that began Thursday are also no longer eligible to compete in tour events or the President's Cup.
So the tour events would be like the RBC Heritage and
Right.
this classic weekly around the
Now,
country tours.
this obviously being a total clusterfuck for this reason. Who's going to watch one of those tournaments if all the names I just listed are not involved in those tournaments? I mean, they're a couple guys away, like a Brooks Koepka and one or two other dudes away from it being like a real decision for golf fans to make. Because, look, Tiger's old. He's fucking old. He's not even going to play a lot of these tournaments. He's probably just going to do the majors that he's healthy for, right? At his age, they're not going to pull any viewership. It was already a challenge for them, I think, especially up against other sports, especially considering, like I said, golf is not real. I mean, the PGA is not really a players' tour. It's the only golfer ever in my lifetime, really in the history of golf, to captivate enough of an audience to drive big numbers on the tour has been Tiger Woods. Now, we have a young batch of golfers who are obviously, they have fan bases. There's a lot of young guys that have made the sport more fun, more exciting. But a lot of them are now going to jump ship to go get bags of money. Saudi money.
My take is, I see what you're saying, but when I look at who left, right, like Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, Sergio Garcia, I mean, those are the big names. The rest of them are just guys who, like, literally in 5 years are going to be in the Champions Tour anyways, or like are going to be done competing.
Probably.
All of the good young guys. Not a single good young guy is on this tour.
But what about Ricky Fowler? Wasn't he considering it?
He's not good. He stinks. Ricky Fowler stinks.
He hasn't been.
No
he
offense.
hasn't been as great the last few years, huh?
I mean, but like, think about right now. Who's going to tune in for the PGA events? You still got Scotty Scheffler, John Rahm, Justin Thomas. Everybody loves JT.
Brooks Koepka.
Brooks Koepka's still there.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. But if a couple of those guys get poached, and then you're really talking about a potential sacking of a league almost.
How has Brooks Koepka not gone to? That's the most Brooks Koepka thing I've ever heard to go to the Saudi league.
I think that's an interesting question, just because the only allure of the PGA Tour is the tradition of it all, right? I mean, it's not about...
It's what you grew up watching.
If you're making it about the money, this is an easy fucking decision.
Yeah. Well, there's the ethical thing about...
Now, that's where a lot of the other questions come into play. In terms of the Saudi Arabian financial backing, there are a lot of moral issues with the way the Saudi Arabian government conducts their business, treats women, minorities, different sexual orientations. And for that reason, people are obviously like, what the hell? But even if you put that aside, it's just like, as a business decision, if you're wiping morals away, I guess, which you should normally apply to business ethics. It's hard to turn down that much money, especially for these guys who, like you said, in 5 years are probably irrelevant anyway. But they are pulling some big names, Phil Mickelson being the most famous, Dustin Johnson being right behind him, and the most competitive still on the tour. He's a shocking get for LIV Golf. He's also kind of a moron.
He is, yeah. That's why I'm not surprised. But like I said, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, like even Bryson DeChambeau, like who originally came off as like really smart, but now it's just like, wait, he's really weird. Weird dude.
Aren't they pulling him too?
There's no... He would get the biggest bag of all of them, I think, because he's the youngest.
Bryson DeChambeau.
He's like 26, isn't he?
I don't know. It's going to be a mess, though. I mean, it's. I've just never seen anything like this, where the PGA seemingly is flailing, like they don't really have a move.
Yeah.
And these guys... I mean, this has been going for months. Months and months and months and months of discussion. And they didn't do anything to, like, stop this from occurring.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be crazy to see. And by the way, this LIV Golf League is not exactly the most well-run thing I've ever seen. They put out their list of team names.
Yeah, these are pretty bad.
It's a totally different setup than the PGA tournaments, all right? There's teams, and they've got team captains.
Don't they do a shotgun start as well?
They do a shotgun start, so everybody starts on a different hole at the same time, which is very fratty of them. And I wonder if they had shotgun beers on those holes. But here are your team names. Ian Poulter's the team captain of the Majestics with a J and it's Sticks, like Sticks. Okay? I get it? Yeah. Smash Golf Club. Smash GC. Next one. Cleeks.
What?
Don't know. Punch. Niblix. Aces.
That's a good one. Get it?
Crushers.
The Crushers, okay.
Yeah, Dustin Johnson's got the Aces. Louis Oosthuizen's got the Stinger Golf Club. Kevin Na has Ironheads. Taylor Gooch has Torque. Sergio Garcia has Fireballs. And Phil Mickelson has the, wait for it, High Flyers. High being spelled Hyflyer. I
don't get it.
Yes, I don't either, Jared. These are terrible. It looks like the minor league of putt-putt or something created teams.
Yeah. Oh, that like the masters of putt-putt in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
This is absolutely terrible. I mean, the logos and the names are not good.
Can I do an impression of Sergio Garcia's team name?
Sure.
Ready?
Yep.
Fireball.
Do 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 do. Woo woo.
You said the Fireball Golf Club, right?
Fireballs.
Fireball.
What is that? What are you?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I came, I saw, I conquered. Or should I say I saw, I conquered, I came. Haha. It's Pitbull, dude. Fucking kidding me?
A Pitbull song?
Yes, he starts the song off saying, I came, I saw, I conquered. Famous Julius Caesar
I remember
quote.
that. What the fuck's that got to do with what you just did?
But then he says, or should I
Fireball.
say, I saw, I conquered, I came.
No, I
Meaning
remember
he
that.
saw a girl.
Yeah, no, I saw.
He had
I get
sex with her, and he
Dude,
ejaculated.
The part where you went Fireball. What the fuck was
the
that?
song Fireball by Pitbull, one of his most famous songs.
Man, you just botched that so
Fireball.
hard. I don't know.
No, everybody listening thinks I crushed it.
I don't know about that. Anyway, this looks like the XFL of golf, and it's weird.
Yeah.
This whole situation is bizarre, and it's kind of fun. As a casual golf fan who doesn't have a lot of emotional investment in the game anymore because Tiger's on his way out, and that was the main draw for me, I don't give a fuck. It's kind of hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
It does seem like, I mean, if you've ever watched a professional golf tournament, it's the snobbiest of the professional sports. It needed to be shook up. And frankly, I don't like Phil Mickelson, but he's not wrong. There has to be something that switches, like that puts pressure on them.
Except for the
ethical questions
that's
around taking
the
Saudi
part.
Arabian money. Yeah, that part's still fucked. But in terms of being against the PGA Tour, like I can't blame that dude either. He's also old, man.
He is.
And you're talking about $150 million. $150 million? I just told you Tiger made 125 off the tour in his career. He's getting more than that, 25 more than that, just to go. That's just to go. That's not if he does this or that or wins a tournament. No, that's just to go. Then you still make money playing.
I wonder if this is all part of the thing that Saudi Arabia is doing. I forget what it's called, like the Saudi Innovation Fund or something, where they're taking all their oil money and then putting it in things that have nothing to do with oil to try to like make their country be set up.
I'm actually pretty
for
confident
success.
this is one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're also doing it with cryptocurrency as well.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how much they could just buy, right?
I mean, they probably are the most cash. They probably have the most cash of any single entity on Earth.
I mean, in terms of
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, well, it's obviously a problem that a very small percentage of people in their country have this massive swath of
They're
wealth.
like one of the biggest investors in the Vision Fund, which was the fund run by that Japanese guy who gave WeWork $300 billion or whatever.
Yeah, they fucked up there.
That was a bad investment.
They fucked up there.
Bad
It's crazy
investment.
how stupid and shisty some of the people that get handed tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars by wealthy people are. Wild. Anyway, so keep an eye on the whole LIV Golf situation. I like golf enough, and I'm obviously enough of a sports guy to where this is one of the biggest stories currently unfolding before our eyes, and it's just going to be really fascinating to see where it all goes. Today's episode of RBP also brought to you by Birddogs. Birddogs have completely changed the game. Birddogs shorts, pants, and joggers are made from the finest high-quality material and come with built-in liner that cradles your stovepipe for all-day comfort so that you don't have to wear underwear, because underwear is unnecessary.
Wait, what's a stovepipe?
Once you've got Birddogs, it's your penis, Jared.
Okay.
It's your penis. Who the fuck likes being uncomfortable? It's time to upgrade the shorts and pants of the future and fill your wardrobe with them. Your balls will thank you. Go to birddogs.com, enter promo code Ross, and they'll throw in a Birddogs dad hat with your order. Look, I've got one here. You can see it. It's the Birddogs dad hat that you get with your order when you go to birddogs.com and support the podcast by using code Ross at checkout. It is free with your order. Birddogs are phenomenal. So is the hat.
Looks great.
You will not take it off, I promise you. You will sleep in the hat and your Birddogs. You will make love in them. You will live in them. You will find happiness in them. Birddogs.com, code Ross for the free dad hat with your purchase and your support of the show. We appreciate you and we appreciate Birddogs. I've got an insane headline of the day for you. This is an article from the New York Times that made its way across my feed. And it's just the most pompous, like yuppie shit I've read in a while. So I wanted to share. Here's the headline. Caviar bumps are all the rage. And J-Bone, I know you're a huge fan of caviar.
I've done a caviar bump.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, we'll get to talk about it then. I also had some caviar over my vacation. I did not do a bump of it, though. Anyway, it says, why are some diners licking fish roe from their fists? And this is, again, the New York Times. Jimmy Hahn, 41, and a bar owner in Los Angeles, was at Coachella in April when he and 4 friends decided to do a bump in a pop-up seafood restaurant, though not the kind you may be picturing. After ordering a seafood platter, he opened a gold tin of Regis Ova caviar, poured a spoonful on his fist between his thumb and index finger, and then proceeded to lick it off with his tongue, like salt after a tequila shot. People used to get high off drugs, Mr. Hahn said, laughing as he crushed the fish eggs against the top of his mouth. Now we're getting high off the food. Caviar bumps, in which a dollop of the fish roe is eaten, not snorted, off the back of one hand, have become a decadent and naughty way to consume the pricey delicacy at certain restaurants, fashionable bars, and festivals, art festivals, and other showy gatherings. A watch collector came up to me yesterday at Freeze and said she saw a video of me doing one on Instagram and she wanted to try, said Kristen Shirley, 37, the founder of La Patiala, a luxury lifestyle website, who was referring to the art fair in New York last month. When Miss Shirley entertains friends at her apartment in Soho, they drink champagne and do caviar bumps around the kitchen island. I love caviar bumps because you don't have to put together a huge cheese board and get out of the crudité, she said. You just need a tin and a spoon. And daddy's credit card. What the hell is this, though? Like, it amazes me that with all we still have going on, that this is a story that was worthy of reporting on.
Yeah.
But then also it's the lack of, it's like there are certain sects of our society that have completely lost the ability to read the room, and New York Times writers are like a large piece of that. Who the fuck wants to hear about these jackasses and you licking what do you do? What is it?
So you make a fist with like your thumb inside of your fingers?
You get the caviar right up in there?
No. No, you put the caviar like so make it everybody listening. Make a fist where your thumb is in your palm,
the fingers,
and your fingers wrapped around it.
Not how you want to throw a punch, folks, because that'll break your thumb.
You put it like right on top of your thumb area, like where you like, you know what I'm saying?
Now,
like
why is that? Like your thumb is the most clean?
I don't know, but you put it like right here. Like what would you call this area even?
Your thumb pit.
Yeah, your thumb pit, like above, in between the hole that's made in your palm and your wrist. You put it there in that little flat plateau.
Yeah, like where if you were gonna do draw on your hand and make a puppet.
Yeah, that, and then you just lick it off.
Why is the only voice I can do Mickey-esque?
I don't really like caviar that much. I don't find.
I thought you were a big fan.
No, I don't really like caviar that much. I prefer.
I feel like 3 weeks ago you were like, I really like caviar, but that might have been something else.
No.
What other rich people food is there?
Oh, escargot.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was escargot.
Yeah, I love escargot.
It was a rich people food.
I prefer trout roe. It's bigger and it's thicker.
What is roe?
It's fish eggs.
Okay. So they just don't want to say that because it sounds
caviar is also fish
monstrous.
eggs.
Sounds monstrous. Huh.
One of the best entrees I've ever had in my life was in Santa Monica at Rustic Canyon. One Michelin star restaurant. Very good. And they have a pork chop with it's like a trout roe béarnaise. I had it for my birthday dinner, my 29th birthday dinner.
That sounds amazing.
It was so fucking good. That was the best dinner I've ever had. If you're in LA, Santa Monica, Rustic Canyon, not that hard to get a reservation.
What's it called?
Rustic Canyon.
Rustic Canyon. Thank you for the rec. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's just like certain things that make me feel about my level of douchiness and yuppiness and Austin guyness, and this is one of them. When I read somebody's quote and it says, a watch collector came up to me yesterday at Frieze and said she saw a video of me doing one on Instagram and she wanted to try. Like, that's just some shit that just like, it just makes me feel a little better. At least I'm not there, you know?
How do you, like, we all know people like this who, for like, I and you and most of my friends have this sort of like tact where you go, oh, I'm going to look like a massive douchebag if I say all these rich person, generally
words
white.
In a row.
Yes. Oh, I was at the art festival in Frieze and
like
on Instagram I did a caviar bump and drinking champagne and crudité. Like, what the fuck?
That's too many weird-ass, yuppie, hipster, white people words in a row. That's just too fucking many. And you're right. We have developed, maybe, over time, a filter that keeps that from fucking happening. And hopefully a lifestyle to some extent. But then there's certain days you just can't avoid, the whiteness. It just happens. But fuck, I try to avoid those sentences at all costs. It's hard sometimes, but Jesus Christ. People used to get high off drugs. Now we're getting high off the food. No, you're just fucking eating, guy. We've all been doing this since food became a thing, time immemorial. Like, you just sound like a dickhead. That's what it is. Don't sound like a dickhead. If you can avoid it, which we all can, it's in our the list of abilities. You can not sound like a dickhead. Just try not to. Try not to. Mm-hmm. Shout out Savannah for being a badass mom to you and Dalto's 9-month-old, and thank y'all both for the support. Shouts Agent Dalto. It is Chicken Leg Pride Month all June long, as we discussed on patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast last week. As such, I am once again wearing shorts in the studio. The chickies are out. Go to bolenmedia.com/shop today and get your Chicken Leg Pride Month shirt, regardless of your leg shape, size, orientation, color, etc. bolenmedia.com/shop today. Keep DMing me on Twitter and Instagram if you are participating in the TikTok comments contest, or TikTok, I guess you could just DM me on the platform the contest is on. Comment on as many of our videos as you can at the Ross Bolen Podcast on TikTok. We're trying to grow our TikTok, keep ourselves in the good standing of the algorithm and the good graces of the Chinese government, and get as many followers as we can so that we can grow the show and try to spread laughter and love throughout the universe. So go to TikTok at the Ross Bolen Podcast. Comment on all our videos. If you do that, we've been sending a care package full of Bolen Media merch and also some of our sponsors' goodies that have been sent to us. To one fan per week, whoever crushes it the hardest on TikTok in the comments contest. So keep the comments flowing in at the Ross Bolen Podcast on TikTok. Also do it on Formula Bone on TikTok. I will count that toward your count if you go through do Formula Bone as well. That's Formula Bone, Jared's F1 show, the Formula Bone F1 show, new episode out now. What's the latest topic?
Well, this weekend is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which has my favorite circuit in all of Formula One, the Baku City Circuit. In this podcast, I explain why it's my favorite circuit, talk about how great of a circuit it is. I preview the entire race, so even if you have never watched Formula One before, all you need to do, listen to my podcast, and you'll be completely set up to watch this race, even if it's your first ever race.
Yeah. Formula Bone, F1 show, available wherever you listen to RBP. Also at Formula Bone on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. We are at the Ross Bolen Podcast on Instagram, at Ross Bolen Pod on Twitter. Jared is at Jared Borislow on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at WR Bolen on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us everywhere. We appreciate y'all. I'll be back tomorrow, Friday, with another ad-free exclusive show available only to those on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast, just like every Friday. J-Bone is going to a wedding, so it'll be
LaVille.
Solo Dolo Roro tomorrow. I'm Roro. That's what my stepdaughter calls me for the uninitiated. Anyway, thank you for being here with us today. We appreciate you. Until next time, peace be with you and also with you.